Hallihallo, liebe Leute. Wie man sieht, habe ich gerade die Schlägerei hinter mir. Heute kommt ein Spezialsong. Wir haben hier nur Spezialsongs. Und zwar erzählen wir die wahre Geschichte vom Hurricane. 3, 4.
Pistol shots ring out in a barroom night. Enter Patty Valentine from the upper hall. She sees the bartender in a pool of blood. Cries out, my God, they killed them all. Here comes the story of the hurricane. The man the authorities came to blame for something that he never done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world. 3 bodies lying there, does Patty see? Another man named Bello moving around mysteriously. I didn't do it, he says, and throws up his hand. I was only robbing the register, I hope you understand. I saw them leaving, he says, and he stops. One of us had better call the cops. And so Patty calls the cops. And they arrive on the scene with the red lights flashing in a hot New Jersey night. Somewhere in another part of town, Rubin Carter and a couple of friends are driving around. Number 1 contender for the middleweight crown. Had no idea what kind of shit was about to go down when the cop pulled him over to the side of the road. Just like the time before and time before that. In Patterson, that's just the way things go. If you're black, you might as well not show up on the streets unless you want to draw the heat. Alfred Bello had a partner, he had a rap for the cops. Him and Arthur Dexter Bradley were just out prowling around. He said, I saw 2 men running out, they looked like middleweights. They jumped into a white car without a state plates. And Miss Patty Valentine just nodded her head. Cop said, wait a minute boys, this one's not dead. So they took him to the infirmary. Although this man could hardly see, they told him he could identify the guilty man. 4 in the morning and they hauled Rubin in. They took him to the hospital and they brought him upstairs. The wounded man looks up to his one dying eye. Says, why'd you bring him here? For he ain't the guy. Yes, here's the story of the hurricane. The man the authorities came to blame for something that he never done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world. Later, the ghetto's in flame. Rubin's in South America fighting for his name, while Arthur Dexter Bradley's still in the robbery game. And the cops are putting the screws in, looking for somebody to blame. Remember that murder that happened in a bar? Remember you said you saw the getaway car? You think you'd like to play ball with the law? Think it might have been that fighter that you saw run in that night. Don't forget that you are white. Arthur Dexter Bradley said, I'm really not sure. Cops said a poor boy like you could really use a break. We got you for the motel job and we're talking to your friend Bello. If you don't want to have to go back to jail, be a nice fellow. You'll be doing society a favor. That son of a bitch is brave and getting braver. We wanna put his ass in a stir. We wanna pin this triple murder on him. He ain't no gentleman Jim. Rubin could take a man out with just one punch. He never did like to talk about it all that much. It's my work, he'd say. I do it for pay. And when it's over, I just as soon go on my way up to some paradise where trout streams flow and the air is nice, and ride a horse along a trail. But then they took him to the jailhouse where they tried to turn a man into a mouse. All of Rubin's cards were marked in advance. The trial was a pig circus, he never had a chance. The judge made Rubin's witnesses drunkards from the slums. To the white folks who watched, he was just a revolutionary bomb. But to the black folks, he was just a crazy nigger. No one doubted that he pulled the trigger, though they could not produce the gun. The DA said he was the one who did the deed, and the old white jury agreed. Rubin Carter was falsely tried. The crime was murder one, guess who testified? Mello and Bradley, and they both boldly lied. And the newspapers all went along for the ride. How can the life of such a man be in the palm of some fool's hand? To see him obviously framed, couldn't help but be ashamed to live in a land where justice is a game. Now all the criminals in their coats and their ties are free to drink martinis and watch the sunrise, while Rubin sits like Buddha in a 10-foot cell, an innocent man in a living hell. That's the story of the hurricane. It won't be over till they clear his name and give him back the time he's done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world.
So, jetzt wisst ihr das auch. Der liebe Mann, der gute Mann, der saß unschuldig im Knast 20 Jahre. So, eine wunderschöne Woche für euch. Tschüss. Tschüss.